All right, guys, Simon here, AKA Coach Thor, and we are in your core and balance portion of your ski preparation workout or program or challenge, whatever motivates you to do it more. So today's workout now, hopefully you've tested out the other ones. You've done our strength day, some of those. Again, same general warm up. So we want a few minutes, go for a jog on the place, whatever, 2 to 8 minutes, get some blood flowing, and then a dynamic stretch, whatever your body needs, some leg swings, arm circles, joint rotation, stuff like that. And then we're gonna hop into our activation portion here. So this workout, again, we're just focusing on core strength, stability, and balance. And these are two things you can't really overdo. Again, depending how sore you are from the workout, but this guy could be sprinkled in there every couple days. You could do it once a week. You could literally do it up to 3 to 5 times a week. You could probably use this as a warm-up for the strength days. Is not a terrible idea either. These are all set up in a way that you can do this as many times as you want in a week. It's gonna be great for you. So, starting with our activation, we're just gonna do, come on, back over in the middle here. Use that support if you need. So some of our strength moves that we've done, right, we're just doing our single leg RDLs. So we're just gonna just getting everything opened up there, open up the hamstrings and the hips, using a little bit of support. We don't wanna have to worry about the balance. We're just doing a little bit of activation and opening things up here. We're gonna start with the RDLs. And we got, right. Okay, and then we're gonna start activating our hip flexors as well. So again, a big part of the hips is the glutes, right? They come through there. So she's going both legs, again, just lifting that back leg up, bottom knee stays soft, just getting those hamstrings moving, hips opened up a little bit. Awesome. And then after that, we're gonna go into a standing march, kind of 2 different versions we can do this. Again, in our strength day, we did that leg lift. So same idea, we're working that hip flexor in there. We're gonna get fancy. It's a pretty thick band. Just gonna put that around the toes. And then again, holding something for support, or you can even do this leaning against a wall or something there. Okay? And then we're driving that knee up. So it's less about pulling up with the foot and more like you're thinking like you're trying to knee out in front of you. So you can really feel that through that quad and that hip flexor. Okay, big part of the core, right? Again, hips and glutes tie right into it. Think of this trunk as one big midsection. It is your midsection. It is the midsection. So again, 10 to 12, alternating. Again, driving that knee up. Awesome. And we're just gonna hop down on the ground. We're just gonna hold a glute bridge 20 to 30 seconds or so, holding that up there. Things you'll notice, right? Keeping that rib cage tucked down and then flexing that butt. And you should, if you got tight hips like mine, you can actually feel this as a hip stretch. So we wanna get that opened up, get those glutes activated. If you're feeling fancy, you could do a little marching or whatnot in there. But again, we're just looking to get everything open and we're going for that hold rather than an actual glute bridge. Okay, so rather than the down and up motion. Awesome. Perfect. So again, if you need more sets of that, you can do a couple more, but that is our activation and prep. So first, we are balancing. Okay, if you've seen other videos I did, I can't remember when I talked about it, most important thing. So we are literally just hanging out on one foot. Okay, I love making everybody that I train do this in some capacity, hanging out there, okay, whether the knee's up or just out of the way, holding that one foot. If this is easy for you, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with just touch. I'm not doing a good demo, that's why she's a demo. You're gonna touch your knee and then come back up to tall. So we're just adding a slight bit of movement. Yeah, so you're just gonna do a knee touch, yep, and then back up, just like that. So just adding a slight bit of movement to it, great. If that's still easy, you don't need to put the other foot down. Well, let's switch feet now. Again, 20 to 30 seconds per. If this is easy, now we can bring that into a toe touch. So just gonna bend down, touch the foot or something lower, come back up, only if you can do that while maintaining your balance. Okay, so we're just gonna make that balancing a little bit trickier. If it's hard enough for you, you are literally just hanging out on one foot for up to 30 seconds. But if that's easy, make it a little bit fancier here with some different versions of the balance. Or one last one we can bring in is just taking a load and then passing it back and forth. So again, all that we're doing here is we're adding a little bit more dynamic motion and forcing your body to balance and stabilize, again, through that foot, big foot spread into the ground. Awesome, passing something around. Again, just focusing on that balance there. Awesome, then we're gonna do a single leg loaded march. So let's go, we'll go right into the fancy version here. Do you do it with the band? No, just the dumbbell. Yeah, no, why did I give you the band? Don't need the band. So I'm just gonna be holding the thing there, and again, we're doing those leg lifts. So now we're just marching back and forth. The heavier object you've got, the better. Okay, we get nice and heavy on this. But again, all that's happening now is your glutes and everything are being forced to activate, keep you nice and steady. We wanna try to avoid big wiggles back and forth. And we're gonna go for 10 to 20 marches per arm. Okay, and again, the slower, make it a little bit trickier for you. Again, that's stabilizing. We're trying to avoid any major shifting of the hips or big transferring of weights. Just trying to keep it exactly like Rebecca's doing there, nice and straight up and down, knee coming up nice and high, stabilizing through that foot in the ground. And again, with an external load 10 to 20 reps on one side, 10 to 20 reps on the other side. Awesome, then our last one, what we call a hip airplane. So we're gonna start with the simpler version. So we're just looking for that kind of hip mobility and engagement. So she's going a slight stagger stance up on that toe. And then what we're looking for is we're gonna open those hips as far as you can and then come back in. So what we're actually working that people don't get is the hip on the ground here. Got it. So she's opening and closing those hips. Just a little bit of weight on that back foot to help with a pivot there, but that big range of motion, again, it's that bottom leg that we are working. So we're looking to open that up as much as you can. Okay, if that feels good and you're good at that, we get a little fancier, we're gonna take that back leg off the ground. So let's show, yeah, we can show the other way. Sure. Go on the other foot, same thing. I would say so with support, yeah, exactly. So same idea now, right? Now all we've done is we've added more loading onto that lower hip. Again, what we're looking for is that motion through those hips. So trying to open up and back as much as you can. And it's that bottom leg and glute and hip that is the one that's working here. So big rotations opening up, yeah, and back down. Awesome. And same thing, we're going for kind of 4 to 8 reps of those. Awesome, now we're gonna go through that all one more time. So it's gonna go back to balancing, one foot. Again, if balancing is easy, then we give her something to play with, okay? If balancing is hard, focus on a nice stable object on the ground, or if you've got one of the balance pads, you can be standing on that. Again, I'm a big advocate for single leg, single foot stuff. My general rule, when you're brushing your teeth, do it on one foot. Cooking food, do it on one foot. The more time you can spend on one foot in balancing, the better for every aspect of your body, your health, your wellness, and your skiing. So here we go, other leg. Again, we're gonna go for kind of 20 to 30 seconds per foot, making it challenging in whatever way you can that you can still balance through that foot. So the bottom knee is soft, we're on the foot there, and again, whether we're passing an object, toe touching, moving, you can pass a ball back and forth to somebody, just something where you're challenging yourself a bit while having to maintain that balance on the foot. Awesome. Then we're going right into our marching. So same but opposite, just a slightly slower time to balance on that foot, lifting that leg up nice and high. Again, the heavier object you've got, the better. I know it doesn't feel like a ton is going on in this movement, but as I said in some of the other videos, right? Your ability to activate your hip flexors on one side, stabilizing through the glute on the other, some of the best things that you can do for your trunk and core strength and stability. So nice and simple there, alternating marches. Good, trying to avoid too much lateral movement, so we're not doing any major shifts when we lift. And we're going for 8 to 10 per side with the weight in hand. And then last one, again, our hip airplanes. So looking for that rotation, so we're gonna start, let's go on fancy version here, lifting out, coming back down. And again, it's this leg we're working, opening those hips. Excellent, so it's not just about turning that foot or anything here. Again, a lot of different things going on, but this right here and that opening is what we're looking for. And then they close. And we can even turn that down, that hip down as far as you can. So as we come open, good. Now go the other way, put that as far down. There you go, right? So again, we're maximizing the range of motion on that bottom hip and leg. We're going 6 to 8 or so per side of those guys, opening it up. Again, this is the leg and the hip that is working. Don't worry about what that back foot and whatnot is doing there. Focus on those hips, or like the version for that hip down or that foot down, and just opening and closing, improving that range of motion as big as you can on those airplanes. Awesome. Again, we're just doing 2 sets through. You could add another set or 2 in there if you wanted. Depends how that's feeling. It's kind of like your activation bit of mobility. Now we're gonna hammer the core. I'm very glad I'm not the demo model now. So this is our core stuff. We are focusing on holds. So a lot of people think that core means doing sit-ups and stuff like that. Your core's primary job to protect your back and everything else is to not want to move. So although sit-ups feel good and they make you sore, they are not what are gonna give you a stronger back or a longer ski season, as we're working for here. So we're gonna start with just a nice, simple side plank. Okay, so we'll go super simple, it's just a side plank, 30 seconds or so, 20 to 30 seconds. If that's easy for you and manageable, then we're gonna do what we call a side plank crunch. So this is gonna do a little bit of rotation there, so a little bit of work on that shoulder, a little bit of rotation through, and if that's easy for you, you can hold that 20 to 30 seconds or 8 to 10 reps, then we're gonna do a full reach through. So you're gonna go hand up, reaches all the way through, and comes back up. So again, either a side plank, or we're just calling kind of a crunch, or this full reach through and rotation there. So again, the plank core is resisting, trying to drop and move, and then we're getting a little extra shoulder stability and work in there with that as well. So 8 to 10 per side, or a 20 to 30 second side plank. Same thing, so Rebecca's going for the full rotations there. And again, if this isn't happening, if I were demoing this right now, I would probably have to put a knee down on the ground, totally fair. So if she just wants to drop one knee or foot down, exactly, something like that, as long as we're holding, right, and we're stabilizing through, hips are open, any version of side plank, something you can manage for 20 to 30 seconds, or like I said, making it more complicated with the rotations and stuff in there as well. 8 to 10 reps or 20 to 30 seconds. Awesome. After we've done those, we're gonna move to just a center plank, okay? Anti-rotational, some center plank, but with some shoulder taps. So we're gonna be going on the hands, in position, good. So nice flat, sideways, doesn't matter. There you go, good. And then we're going for shoulder taps. So she was starting with the fancy version, but you notice here what we're looking for again is no movement, okay? So you can see her hands come a little bit more central, and then we're touching, and she is under full control that whole time. So if you need to make it easier, put the feet wider, so you can go nice and wide. I would rather that and that nice and slow than having to have your butt stuck up in the air, okay? So if your butt's sticking up in the air, it's too hard for you. We want nice, solid trunk through, and then again, you'll notice almost no shifting. What we do in my gym is we'll actually put a cone or something on your back, and you can't let it drop off when you do these. Awesome, and anywhere from 10 to 20 of those, whatever is challenging for you. Next up, everybody's least favorite. What we call a Copenhagen plank. So you'll need something, again, a chair, a bench, something you can go up on. What we're working is that inside there. So she's gonna go up. Again, fancier version, these are very tricky if you've never done them. So we're starting her with her knee onto that bench there. You can slide up even a little further if you're able to, or if that's easy, you're gonna slide out, okay? And same thing, we're going for anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds holding this. If she needs a little more help, all she's gonna do is drop that bottom foot, just touch it to the ground. Doesn't make it that much easier. Again, I want you to be able to hold at least 20 seconds, up to 30 seconds of this movement. And you're gonna feel that. If you've never done these before, have fun tomorrow. You can feel that on that inside there. Now we're gonna rotate over, same thing. Again, harder is just gonna be sliding further out on the foot. Okay, so the further out, the harder, and that gets real hard real quick. Easier, we're just gonna slide in, even to the point, if you wanted to, we could bend that knee and literally put her knee right onto this. A little bit awkward with our chair here, but there you go, right? And go on the knee, other foot straight, perfect. And if we need even easier, exactly that foot down on the ground. So some version of this Copenhagen plank that you can hold for 20 to 30 seconds at a time. Awesome. And then our last one, V-sits, oh yeah. Rebecca makes these look a lot better than I do. So we're gonna give her some room there. And our back, so now we're getting into a little bit of that dynamic. Again, like I said, core is primarily stabilizing, but if we're gonna do some core, we're gonna work both at the same time. So she's going for an alternating, so opposite foot coming up, or alternating the foot coming up, and then both parts of the body leaving the ground at the same time. So what we don't wanna see, right, is just the torso coming up. Show me some bad ones. So it's not just like a crunch there, but it's also not just like a leg raise the other way, where it's just our feet coming up. So if you can't close both at the same time, then we're just gonna bend the knees a little bit. So more of a tuck in, but making sure, as you can see here, both parts of the body come off the ground at the same time. So we're working those lower and upper abs, hip flexors, everything in there. And again, 12 to 20 of those guys alternating or the tuck in. Now let's go through that one more time. So back onto our side planks, with or without rotations. So let's go from basic version, would be no rotation, knee down. So just drop a knee on the ground, and we're just gonna hold that side plank, okay? 20 to 30 seconds like that. If we can manage that, we go up onto the feet. Good, and then again, 20 to 30 seconds of that. If we can manage that, we go to the crunch version. So it's kind of a partial range of motion there. Great, and if we're able to do that, we go to a full side reach through. And again, we're looking for 20 to 30 seconds or 8 to 10 reps of whichever version of that side plank you can handle. Awesome, and then other side, same. Good, so again, easy one, a little bit harder, holding up, and again, you just pick the one that you can manage for at least 20 seconds, up to 30, partial rotations, or our full reach throughs. Awesome, and again, 20 to 30 seconds. After that, we go back into our center plank, and again, planking, kind of like balancing. You can't really overdo it. Okay, the more you can plank, the better. Our kind of set standard goal. So again, we're doing our shoulder taps. Like I said, here we're looking for that nice flat line. So I don't want that butt way up in the air. If you need to make your feet a little bit wider to maintain that stability, I'd rather see that than a lot of wiggling, butt up in the air. She's going anywhere for 10 to 20, slow and controlled, the slower the better. Yeah, I believe our standard on a plank, general exercise standard, you want to be able to hold up to a 2-minute center plank. Once you're able to do that, you're good. And then about a minute and a half on either side. So those are the kind of the goals, benchmarks. If you're not there, we got to get doing some more planking. I'm definitely not there. And last up, again, our Copenhagen plank. So if you've got a bench, a chair, a couch, something, go on that upper leg on. So we're going to do the slightly easier version. Yep, so it's going from the knee. Yeah, not the most comfortable chair to do it on. Other leg straight, great. And you're going to feel that in the inner thigh. Awesome. We're holding again 20 to 30 seconds. Foot down on the ground if you need that help. or leg up off the ground if you're good, or if you want to get real fancy, we're just going to challenge Rebecca. She's going to do dips in that position. Yeah, and then back up. So if you're getting real fancy, go for that. But again, don't try that on day one. You're in week 3 or 4 and you're like, I'm good at these now, then give that a go. Don't do it otherwise. Awesome. And again, 20 to 30 seconds of our Copenhagen, and then other side to finish it off. Again, this is really good one. Hip strength, everything in there, especially with your skiing, all that lateral moving that we do, right? This is what's gonna really make sure everything stays put. And keep in mind, core strength, right? It's pretty much everything from your knees to your nipples. I would encompass that as part of your core strength and ability. So that's where those glute bridges, those holds, that work in there, right? If you've got a back problem, it's from a weakness down the line. It's not actually your back's fault necessarily. Oh yeah, and our last one. All right, and then our V-sits to finish. And again, we're going anywhere from 10 to 20 reps, alternating legs coming up, okay? And again, back comes off the ground at the same time as the feet. If that's not happening, just more of a tuck-in type motion. And even we can go both legs together. Let's do a dual leg. So our easiest version here, just a tuck in. Well, easiest would be just to sit up if you need to, but ideally stick to tuck-ins. Ideally some form of tuck-in, or again, our alternating V-sit. Excellent, or just a regular sit-up. And again, that was your core section, part of it there. So that can be repeated as many times as your body can handle. That would be a great series to do as a warm-up for your strength days. Or like I said, sprinkle those in anywhere from 1 to 4 times a week amongst your other workouts. You can get through it pretty quick, but just first time through, 6 to 2 sets, see how everything feels. That feels good, then we start ramping that up in intensity and volume. Thanks, hopefully you're ready for your ski season.